Hello everyone and welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for the preview show for the big one on Thursday. Celtic against Valencia in the first leg, last 32 of the Europa League. I'm joined again by Declan McConville and we're going to talk over all things Valencia and look at Celtic's chances of progressing. First things first though, Declan, about housekeeping. We've been getting a few comments about the hoodie, so a few of you have loved the hoodie. If you want to get one, you can get it over at teesfortims.com. Check out the whole range. We'll put the link in the description. There's some great stuff over there. So we'll crack on with the rest of the content then. Declan, Valencia, big one.
Yep.
We're here again in Europe. Big step up as we're always faced with. But have you sensed in the fans this week that this is an exciting challenge for us, or do you think there's some fans that think it's maybe a bit of a distraction for us given the big domestic games we've got coming up?
I think it's a good challenge for us because obviously some of the teams that we've played, bar Hibs, we've not been really able to judge how well and how far we've come since our defeat at the end of December. So I think this will be a good challenge for us, and it's a game that the players can, they can give their best, express themselves how they feel. The pressure, I don't think, is on us in this. I think it's in Valencia, and we maybe go into this game as a bit of an underdog. So I think Celtic can just see what their chances are like and go for it. Absolutely, I think that can sometimes suit us, especially at home, being the underdog. That's the Celtic's history at home in Europe. Maybe not so much in the past few years, but hopefully we can rekindle some of the good old European nights at Celtic Park. Valencia have obviously got a lot of quality. Of course. But they're not having a blockbuster season by their own standards. Just want to run through some stats here. They've only averaged 1.09 goals per game in La Liga. We know La Liga is obviously a much higher standard than what we face, but they're not scoring a lot of goals. They are 10 points worse off than they were at this stage last season. They've had a remarkable amount of draws. I think they've played something like 22 games in the league, 13 draws in there. Another draw at the weekend, 0-0 against Sociedad. Again, with away form, you can look at the away form two ways. I think they've only had one win away from home in their last 8 in all competitions, but again there's a lot of draws in there, so they're not getting beat often either. Do you think that can be a sign of hope for us? The fact that they're not scoring a lot of goals, albeit they're not conceding, but they're not in great form away from home. I think with their first choice centre half being out, it's going to benefit us, and Gabriel seems to have picked up a thigh injury. Their Champions League group stage performance, I think they went to, obviously they beat Manchester United at Messiah, they drew at Old Trafford, so they avoided being beaten by Man United, but of course it's not a Man United that we're watching under Gunnar Solskjaer. I think they even drew at Young Boys, so, and were beaten against Juventus. So although they're not getting beat, I think we just need to avoid drawing. I don't think they can. I don't really fancy Valencia coming to Celtic Park and winning the game, but they could maybe take something off us. But I think with the crowd behind us, and if we play like we've been playing, we can win the game and hopefully take a positive result to Valencia next Thursday. Absolutely, you touched on their Champions League group. I watched them at Old Trafford. It was 0-0 that night, and they were very good. I was impressed with the way they moved the ball, but the one thing they were lacking that night was end product. I think they had Batshuayi and Rodrigo up front. They've obviously lost Batshuayi, who's come back to Chelsea and then on loan to Crystal Palace. But I was impressed with the way they moved the ball, but they did lack that end product, and I think that's something you can see looking at the results this season. I don't think scoring goals has been a real problem for them. I don't think we'd have fared greatly against this Man United team that just looks a wee bit, it just looks as if it's clicked now. But to go to beat Man United and take a draw at Old Trafford, is something. So their record, 8 points in a Champions League group with Juventus and Man United is decent. I think that game at Old Trafford really sums up their season because they struggled with the end product, as I said, and they managed to get a draw. I mean, almost 78% of their games this season have been draws almost. So moving on then, do you think that coming to Celtic Park they're going to set up for a draw, as we've touched on there with their form. Do you think they're going to come and be expansive and really try and win the game? How do you think they're going to set up?
I was read a couple of the manager's comments, Toral, and he said that the players are starting to tire. Something about every time you play every 72 hours, players are going to be naturally tired. So, and they don't look in great shakes just now. They've had 3 draws in the bounce. So I don't think they'll come to Celtic Park and try and win the game. I think they'll set up and try and take a point off us. Maybe hit us in the counter attack if they can, because I don't think, we don't know what our defence is going to be like, so they may see that as a positive, but I don't think they'll try and win the game.
Absolutely. Do you think then, if they're not going to try and win the game, that'll impact how we approach the game? Do you think we're going to be defensively aggressive as we are in domestic competition all the time? Do you think we're maybe going to let them have the ball, given that they've got much more quality and we have, kind of like in the home game against Salzburg, where I felt like we sat off?
Yeah, we did sit
I mean, Salzburg played really well that night, and they're well coached to play a difficult system with the diamond as well.
They deserve to win the game against us.
But I thought we really struggled with that. So how do you think we're going to attack Valencia?
I think we should have a goal like we did against Leipzig, because that was a good side, as we know, had good quality in it. But if we have a good goal, I think the way some of our players are playing just now, I mean, Ollie Burke, I would pick him up front, and he'll chase down those causes, he'll press, he'll really go at it. Sinclair's form in Forest, scoring at the weekend there, brings a lot of positive for our front three, and as well as that, with Brown coming into a game now, it lets McGregor and Christie open up the space and go at teams. So I think we should just play our normal game against them. Obviously, when they're in the counter, Brown's coming back, sitting deep and trying to get the 2 wingers to sit in and help their full-backs, but I don't think we should let them have the ball. Have a good go at them. That's how we always expect Celtic to do in a European night, and I think when we have set off teams and we've sat in, you know, we've ended up coming off the back of some really bad results. I would really just have a go.
Certainly, I think that's what happened against Salzburg. I think, knowing their quality for the first game, we did sit off them a little bit, but it didn't help us. Didn't help us any at all. Thinking about how they're going to set up, then they play a lot 4-4-2, as Brendan Rodgers said at the weekend when he was looking ahead to the game. I think obviously you mentioned that Gabriel, former Arsenal defender, he's out, so we expect it to be Neto in goals. Right back, Cristiano Piccini, Celtic target of course, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. Ezekiel Garay, who we know for his time at Benfica, I think he's actually scored against us before. Who do you think will be at centre half for them then, alongside Garay?
I think the guy, he's Argentinian, Roncaglia, started at the weekend, so I just expect him, if Gabriel's out, to partner Garay, who is a good centre half, so I think we need to watch him. But I think they'll be quite surprised, because Burke will, if he gets a nod up top, will have a good go at the two of them. I
wanted to just say to you there, that was a big one for the weekend. I asked a lot of people, do you think we will go with Burke over Edouard? And we know Edouard hasn't played a lot of football recently. You expect it to be Burke?
I think it'll be Burke, yeah.
Left back then, Jose Gaya. I think they've been rotating this a wee bit between Jose Gaya and Tony Lato. I think Gaya played at the weekend against Sociedad. It was Lato the game before that. You think? I mean, I think they'll go with Gaya.
I think they'll go with Gaya. But Lato played against Barcelona, so I don't really know. Two of them are good quality of full back, so
they've got
cover in that
two
position.
Two good left backs, unlike ourselves. On the midfield then, Kondogbia, it was at the weekend, alongside Danny Parejo. Danny Parejo's the captain, we know he'll be there. Denis Cheryshev, who's a well-known Russian player for the World Cup. On the right-hand side, it could be Carlos Soler. I think Daniel Vaz has played there as well. And up top, Rodrigo seems to be the main man up there for them. Obviously, Spanish international, is a great player. Could be Kevin Gamero. We could see Santi Mina. I think that depends how they're going to set up. If they're going to come in a real go, I'd expect it to be Gamero with Rodrigo. Santi Mina, I think, is more of an attacking midfielder, come striker.
They played him at the weekend as well, which maybe indicates that they were just kind of giving him a chance in there in La Liga to bring back one of the two. But
So it'll be interesting to see, but I mean, just running through the team there, you can see they've got bags of quality.
Coquelin is another player that we forgot to mention there that could come in as well.
Yep, he's played alongside Parejo in midfield quite a few games, so it's either going to be him or Kondogbia. We know all about him for his time at Arsenal as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they set up, but I think we can see, obviously, they've got a few options, they've got a lot of quality. What do you think then is a good result for Celtic? First of all, what do you think is a good result for Celtic? And second, what kind of result do we need to have any chance of progressing? Because I think those are two different
I think goals to nil is a really good result. To avoid Valencia getting the away goal, I think if we can 2-0 would be a really good result to take to the Mestalla. I think last year when we played Zenit, McGregor's goal wasn't enough, and obviously we went over to Russia and we got well beat, but I think 2 goals to nil would be a really good positive result to take over there for us. I don't know what the result on the night could be.
I think 2-0 would be brilliant. Yeah. As you touched on there, we've seen with Zenit, it's a really good performance last season in the first leg, same round, same stage of the competition, but it wasn't enough because Celtic's away form, as we know, is absolutely atrocious, and we capitulated in St Petersburg. So I think to have any chance of progressing, we do need a 2-goal lead. As you say, a clean sheet is massive, but I don't think we can be, and I think the Celtic supporters fall victim to this all the time because we're playing so well domestically, that we come into these games full of hope, full of confidence, which on the one hand, we are playing well. We haven't conceded since we came back at the turn of the year. We've scored something like 21 goals.
Conceded none.
We are playing really well, but we can't let that lull us into a false sense of confidence, because I think it's easy to forget the leap up in quality here. This is a proper top class side. I know that they were struggling earlier in the season when they came out of the hat. I think they were sitting about 14th, they're up to 8th now. So I don't want us to have this false sense of confidence.
This lets them as well get away from La Liga, switch off of Spanish football and come out into the European stage and maybe be a bit different from the La Liga form, you know. It could be that they're just being cautious and are quite happy sitting in that mid-table now. Yeah. Well, in this game, you know, they can go for it as well. So
it would just be Celtic's luck in it that they turn up and they'll click on Thursday night. But I hope not. I think for us, we just need to give the best performance that we can. I think you touched on it already. The Leipzig game is the one that we can hark back to this season, where we did produce a really high level against a good European side. I think to have any hope of getting a good result on the night and to have any chance of progressing, we need to replicate that kind of standard of performance. So, score predictions then. We've said how we want it to go. How do you think it will go?
I'm going to go 2-0 Celtic. I'm going to stick with that. I think good form, just keep it tight at the back. I think Boyata's going to be key, because I think he'll fire a lot of balls into the box. Him and Siminovic, just be solid, and I think all things going well, Sinclair there, Burke, Forrest, I think we can win the game.
That's another one, we're not getting it here, but at centre half there's a wee selection issue there. But I wish I had your optimism, Declan, I really do. But I'm going to go for a draw. I think, obviously we've touched on it, Valencia have had so many this season. They're not scoring a lot, they're not conceding a lot. Having said that, I think if we do bring that level of performance that we had against Leipzig, then we can score. I'm going to go 1-1. That is it. That is all we've got time for this week. You know what to do. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts in the game below. How do you think it will go? We will be back tomorrow with a starting 11 prediction, where we'll talk about all the Celtic selection issues that we've got. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and don't forget to subscribe. We passed 11,000 subscribers today, which is absolutely remarkable. I think it's only like 30 days since we passed 10,000, so
that must be a big following.
I think maybe it is, definitely. Maybe it's all the viewers tuning in for you, but it's absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow as the build up for Valencia continues. Thank you.